Hey, friend. Welcome to How I Became Your Mother. I'm Kalila Black, and this is a place where my past meets my future as I share my life story to my future child as if they're already listening. Stories, lessons, and manifestation magic. Let's get into it. So, I like to start off with a check in. First of all, this is the first episode that I'm recording after I launched it, and I'm really grateful for the reception, for the love, for the listens. I'm really grateful for this place because I'm really wanting to use this as a place to strengthen my voice. So thank you all for all the support. So let's do a little check-in. Hey, Woo Woo. So right now, you're gonna be listening to this after I'm already in Toronto, but I'm currently getting ready to go to Toronto, and this was a very, very difficult decision to make. In fact, when I first got the call, I was like, I can't go to Toronto. Like, I cannot go to Toronto. How? And it was crazy because that day I got the email. So I had two other opportunities. I had a interview with a popular talk show to discuss me and mommy's story. And I had an interview with my union's grant association to discuss getting a grant for an emergency grant. And I got the grant and I'm very, very grateful. Shouts out to the Entertainment Community Fund, formerly known as Actors Equity, or Actors Fund, the Actors Fund, forgive me. Um, and yeah, so really grateful for that. And then when I saw the email from the general manager of the Lion King, I'm like, oh, I just felt so sad because I was like, oh, I can't go. And so I told my mother, like, yeah, they hit me, and she's like, and I was like, I can't go. And she was like, well, first you have to see if you want to go. If you want to go, then you pray about it and we'll make a way. And so then I went and I meditated and I was like, do you want to go? And like the voice in my head was like, of course you want to go. You haven't been out of the country in over a year and you know how that messes with you. And you've literally missed the show. Like I'm I'm gonna dedicate a whole episode to the Lion King because that's kind of how I relate to that show and to that consistent gig in my life. But I'll share just a little bit, and just so I don't take over the episode. But I know y'all with me. I was like, I sometimes when you're not in the show, when I'm not in the show for a while, and it will be no, it was a year and change. No, 2 years. Because I was in it, the last time I was in it was in March 2023. So it's been 2 years since I was in the show. Now, I performed as Nala for the show twice last year. Grateful. Very, very grateful to stay connected and get that check. And there's nothing like singing in the ensemble, like all those voices, all of those. So I was just having that thought because I also use the show as a personal warm up. I used the Lion King soundtrack to warm me up for auditions because as a swing, I know like all of the different parts. So I'll do soprano, one run, alto, the next run, the middle, the next run. Also, each song, there's a different place that you're supposed to place your voice. So it just stretches out my whole voice. So I was warming up one day and I was just like, oh, I miss that show. Like, I want to sing that. Like, somebody come call me to sing that show. I want to go, I miss it. So I have been, and then whole time, I went to, when I first saw that they was having a Toronto production, I emailed the general manager like, hey, what's teas? If y'all need a Nala, what's up? Like, put me in. And he was like, they're gonna go with the Canadians. They hiring Canadians. So I was like, I already shot my shot. Like they knew who to call. So I'm just happy it worked out. Oh no, let me tell the whole story. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to make it. This is crazy. Like, not remembering that my god sister had asked my to come out here to LA. You know, she wanted some time away. She wanted to explore. She missed my mother. So she was like, yo, can I come through? Y'all got space? And I was like, nah. But how long, realizing I could go away and she could support and step in and get her time, get everything. It's just killing two birds with one stone. It felt like, oh my God, like I have an opportunity. And I'm like, I'm not playing. Like so the setup is when you work overseas with a company, they put you up, they fly you in, it's an apartment, all of that, gym, da. I'm going ham. My birthday is May 7th, and I want to look delightful in my bikini. And so this next month of April, I'm not playing. By the time y'all listen to this, hopefully I'm on day 3, because I gave myself April 7th to May 7th. So that's what's going on with me. I'm feeling very like charged. I have a whole list of things that I want to do while I'm here in Toronto. I want to work on my credit. I want to work on my body. I want to work on my dating. I want to work on my content creation. I want to work on my relationship with my mom because, oh my God. So like, it's so cool because we've never been in this type of time zone setting. Like for 2 years, I was on Pacific time and she was on East Coast time. And it was hard because she wakes up earlier than me. So our timing was just off with connecting. Like it just was not tea. And now with me being on East Coast time and her being on Pacific time, it matches up. Like it matches up. I'll still be able to get up and do my routine. And then when it's time for me to talk to her, it'll be at the top of her day. So we can set each other's day off right. We're going to build a certain level of consistency. So I'm just really excited about that part. I'm taking this and running with it. Okay. That's my check-in. That's what's going on. So I wanted to introduce this theme, and this is called Black Magic. Black Magic. This is about the boys. This is about the opposite sex. This is about me and my attraction for boys. Let's just jump in because it really is a big part of who I am. And I never want you as my kid to feel like attraction and stuff that has to do with the opposite sex is taboo or too grown, because attraction is something that is sometimes in you at a very young age. I know it was for me. So this is about my journey with attraction and attention and all of that. So let's start with Black Magic. So the name Black Magic comes from my friends. This is so funny. It comes from my friends because they call me Black Magic because they say that I have a power, a magic, an allure, a magnetism as it pertains to guys. And they're right. They're right. There was a point in time when they gave me that nickname, probably like 15 years ago, where I was rejecting it. I was like, no, it's just, and I really just be feeling like everybody, I just feel like everybody, I used to feel like everybody has the same tools. It's just like what you choose to do with it. Like you have a charm, I have a charm, like use your charm. It's not black magic. It's just a skill. And it's like, nah. You have magic. You're black magic. So just embrace it, understand it. And I want to share this with you because it's important for you to know that I know who I am before we meet your father. Like, I know that because of who I am, that your pops is, he's just an extra level type of a man. Like, I'm clear. I'm clear. I'm clear, 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 clear. So I just want you to know that this has been years and years and years of me understanding and appreciating what it is to engage with men and boys and the Martians. They say that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I love the Martians. I enjoy them. So let's just get into it. Let's get into it and let's explain what's going on. So I just wanted to share a little bit of evidence of the magic because I'm like, oh yeah, like, what do you mean? What does it mean? And it's just like, I'm going to just start from young. And the reason why you guys hear a smile in my voice is because I'm goofy, and this feels a little bit weird to be like, it feels a little braggadocious, and it also feels like you're spilling your tea. But this is the truth. And I'm not sharing no names. So it is what it is. So my black magic. So I've always had a little boyfriend. A little boyfriend. So somebody's little son was always calling Kalila their girlfriend. And from early on, like, I feel like my first boyfriend, I don't even remember. I feel like I had a boyfriend at like 6 in pre-K. It always gave that. It always gave that because I like the boys. I could see, I like the aesthetic. It was never, I don't ever remember that phase where I didn't like boys. Now, I remember wanting to play and engage, and I think everybody's my homie. But like that place, I feel like, at least they put it on television where it's like, oh no, boys have cooties, girls have, like, I never thought boys had cooties. Now, there were certain boys that were dirty, but there was also certain girls that was dirty. You know what I mean? But I never thought, like, I never had the gender wars, even though that was a very different experience in my household. But we'll get to that later on. So, and it was like the type of stuff that I would experience. Like, let's go to elementary school. So elementary school, I'm like 9 years old. 9 years old. Still, no, was it 9? Yeah, probably like 9. Probably like 9 years old. And oh my gosh. I was so like, I had a boyfriend 9 years old. 9 years old. I had a boyfriend who lived in Harlem and who would come on the train to Co-op City. And he was 10. I feel like, ain't we the same age? When you look, because he's still the homie. When you listen to this, are you my age or not? He used to come. First of all, we went to the same church. He was my church boyfriend at that time. We went to church in Harlem, but he lived in Harlem, and he used to come on the train and come and see me sometimes after school. He would buy me jewelry. He bought me candy. He bought me flowers. 9 years old. 9 years old. 9 years old. Like, this was one of my first boyfriends. And it goes up from there. Like, I remember there was times in high school where, like, I feel like I met this guy. I don't even remember, but like how far apart. But I was so showered with things, with gifts, and they was always unexpected. Like Valentine's Day, I feel like we met and we chatted on the phone a couple times. He met me at my school, brought me flowers, it was raining that day, brought me like flowers, gifts. I was iced out, like, and it's funny back now because I don't ask too much. I never before now. Like, I'm in a different stage now. I understand that asking for things gives people a clear way how to support me, but I was not taught to ask men for things. So it was always felt magical because I would just get stuff. And I'm like, oh, y'all really mess with me. Like, especially because gifts are my love language. Like, I feel like gifts are a tangible representation of love. It's like, oh, nah. Like, I got your love in my hand. Like, I got your love on my, like, I enjoy it. I enjoy gifts. So when I would get them, I'd be like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, this is so cool. So that, that was some way, that was the gifts way. Um, Whether I had boyfriends who were like acts of service, like one of my boyfriends in college, he drove me, 9 hours to an audition from like back there and back. We went down to one of these countries and it was, Carnival Cruise Lines was, having an audition. And it was one of my first, like, I'm just gonna go audition for myself. Didn't get it then, but he drove me down and there and back. I had one guy who we wasn't even together, but he rented a car. He was in Jersey. No, he was in Brooklyn. And I was babysitting my cousins in Connecticut for the week. And he rented a car just to come see me, just to come chill. I've had men fly across the world. Like, nah, I'm coming. Came to Singapore. Like, nah, I'm pulling up. I've had, and then like even in later years past that, because those is like 20s. I've had, I was gifted I had use of a Benz, of a car, and then my mother got use of a car. We had his car for like years. His additional car. I've had thousands and thousands of dollars in Cash App. And that's again with me not asking. Like I'm not asking for that. I hadn't asked for that. So that's the like physical stuff. But support, I've had people pay for, like, I had an allowance. I had people pay for coaching and headshots and stuff for my family, my mother. That, like, it's just the magic is present. Okay. And I realized that my magic is because I genuinely be connecting with people. Like, I'm interested in your story, and when you talk to me, when you're around me, especially as a man, I think because sometimes, like, I feel like with the man, it's a multiple thing. Like, you're gonna get Kalila the friend and Kalila the flirt mixed in if there's physical attraction. Okay, so there's just a roundedness around my interaction with men that I think is the magic, because they'd be like, nah, we're down, and you also sense that I'm into you strong and I want to feed into you, so you're just gonna be better after leaving me, period. So okay, what was I raised to believe? So it's crazy that I've had this effect, but I've had this interaction because I come from a different type of a thing. Like, my mother has had interactions and she's dated and all of that, but I wasn't raised to learn how to interact with men for real. Like, my mother's like, make sure you have your stuff. You take care of yourself, and that's that. Like, I think because of her relationship with men and her interaction, and I think that starts from just some old family stuff with like her father, because our grandfather is the story around it just wasn't a healthy display of male leadership, of love. It just wasn't healthy. So I understand it, but that's trickled down into me not really understanding how to maneuver with this attraction and this power, because it's like I was raised to think that men were replaceable and accessories and not necessarily valuable. And I think it was a defense mechanism. It was my mother trying to make me self-sufficient and powerful but it also had me, it didn't allow me a chance to envision what kind of man would support my lifestyle. It was just like, okay, either you gonna give my lifestyle or it's paid, goodbye. Like, so it just was a different upbringing. You know, when I first got my cycle, I was 12, and it was just, I remember being, first of all, I don't know, back then I really, really wanted my period. Everybody had their period, and I wanted my period so bad. So bad. And I got it. And for whatever reason, I feel like it might have been an election day or something, because my mother was home, and she wasn't usually home. Usually it was just my grandmother, because she was at work still when I got home from school. But I remember I got home from school and got it. So I had made it through the day, which I was so grateful for. And I got my cycle, and my birds and the bees talk went like this. It went like this. You can get pregnant now. So you need to be careful about what you doing with boys. And then my grandmother was like, and boys is going to tell you anything they want to get in between your legs. So don't do it. And then my mother was like, do you need to know how to use condoms? And I was like, no, Ma. And then that was the end of the conversation. So, and I also just didn't feel comfortable, because I didn't really see my mother around a lot of men. Like, it just wasn't a comfortable thing. So I was raised to believe, yeah, like I said, that they were disposable, that also there was like a superiority thing. Like, I was raised to kind of believe that women were a little bit more superior than men. Like, and just like, they can't even, in a way where it's like, you can't wear nothing around them. You can't wear short clothes around men, because then they're gonna get hard, and then they're gonna cheat, and they can't control themselves, and they can't, like they're animals, kind of like just silly animals that can't, regulate their actions. And I learned that just from a lot of things, like the whole cheating thing. Like, I feel like there's still people to this day that believe that, and probably men themselves, that have conditioned themselves to think that they can't control their loins, they just don't have that control. So okay, let's move on to the next one. That's what I was raised to believe. Now, what am I keeping about this phase? So I'm keeping my sense of self. My grandmother and my mother were very, very powerful women. And even with my grandmother not having, like, she wound up becoming a nurse, but she moved to New York with like 7th grade education, and was with a church, was a church mother. And even with that, I witnessed my grandmother in leadership roles every Sunday. She taught and led Sunday school. She held the office. I witnessed my mother hold a leadership thing in church, a leadership position in church every Sunday with the children. I witnessed women getting it done. I witnessed my mother going to work. I witnessed my grandmother. I was at my grandmother's retirement party, and I remember it vividly. So I am keeping my sense of self and confidence, and that part of me that knows that that it really is me and God. Like, for real. That's what I'm keeping. Now, from them, what I'm also keeping from my own lessons and what I've learned from my childhood is my magnetism. Like, there was a lot of times where I felt like shameful for my charm, because it feels like something that, it feels so natural, like to point out and to connect with people and to find what's good in them and what I like about it. And that's really what the charm is. It's just like, oh my God, like, you're everything. I know I'm everything, and also your everything because of these reasons. Like my everythingness is witnessing your everythingness. And that's how I bring it to people. So if we're dating, we just continue to bounce off of each other. And I want to keep that. I'm keeping that sense of connection and that skill of connecting with people. What am I leaving? So I'm definitely leaving behind the gender wars. Like I have to tell my mother, your grandmother to this day, like she said something like, something. Oh, I think Bronx, who's a boy, um, was running and didn't come out of the his crate until I came home, and he was yawning and everything. And then my mother was like, just like a man, don't come out until he's ready or something. I'm like, that's not a masculine. That's not just only a masculine trait, mommy. There's some lazy men and there's lazy women. We gonna stop that because you're not gonna mess up the energy of this house and keep. I'm not enrolling. I'm no longer enrolling in gender wars. I'm no longer enrolling in the idea that men are doing this and men are doing that and women are doing this and women are doing that, because that is so limiting and it's not truthful. It's not truthful. And if you find yourself viewing men and women in such a monotone way, that means you have to get out and meet more people. And that's why I think me traveling to 36 countries, me always enthralling myself in different personal development and groups of people and reading and seeking out different things, I see so many, like the genders don't match. It don't matter. So I'm leaving the gender wars. I'm leaving the objectifying. It was a large part of my life where if I don't feel like you have anything to give me, or that I can't, not that you don't have anything to give me, but I can't benefit from this moment. Like right now, I've already made a decision, whether that's like, I don't want to smile. I don't want to, like, you have to fulfill a need in this moment. And if not, it's paid. I'm leaving that behind. I'm open for connection. When I'm not open for connection, it's because I don't feel like being open for connection. It's not because I've prejudged that you're not worth connecting with. I'm off that. It's not objectifying. It's not judgment. When I'm ready to connect, I'm connecting regardless. So now for our moment of gratitude, I just wanted to be, I'm grateful for my experiences with men and with boys. Like, man, whether that's my cousins, whether that's my father, my stepfather, my exes, my male friends, my gay ones, my non-gay ones, like I am supported by men. I have countless amounts of times and instances and experiences. I've had beautiful relationships. All of my relationships where I was with these people for a year and change, all the way from young, we had great times. Like my relationship was fire. My relationships were fire. They may have ended weird, or it was a great time. I learned who I was. I felt supported. We would sleep. We was riding out. We was claiming each other. It was lit. It was lit. I became better. I was even doing that the other day, thinking about how each relationship made me better. My last relationship made me a better cook because he was a chef. A better cook, better sensually. Prior to that, more, like all of my exes have added to my life. Would never. I'm not a like spin the block girl per se, but I am grateful for everything that I've learned and I've who I've become from them. What I want to raise you to believe, I want you all to have respect for the opposite sex and to love the differences. Listen, the thing about being raised in the way where it's like you don't need a man, you don't need the man, you could do things by yourself, you don't realize the benefits and the joys of the opposite sex. Like men are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Their energy is grounding. They're powerful. I just want you to respect them. I want you to respect how they operate. Like, we don't operate the same, but it's necessary and it's a beautiful thing. Just respecting the masculine, respecting execution, respecting, the directness, respecting that Martian energy, because I want it and I love it. And I want you to be personality trait focused. I don't want it to be like, when you measure people, I want you to measure people by up against your core values, right? What do they stand for? Do they stand for family, community, fitness, knowledge? What do they stand for? The other stuff, all of that, men do this and don't trust a man, and da-da-da, it's cap. We were built for each other. We were made for each other. And if you also, the other thing is, let me put this in here just in case. We got LGBTQ running all up and through here, through my family, all up and through. So if you happen to be talking to the same sex, it's the same thing. It's just connection. It's connection. So you might be other, you might be a part of the alphabet crew. Support. You got support over here. I'm just talking in what I know of, but you're supported. So I want you to be personality trait focused. I want you to respect. I want you to be aware of how to operate. I want you to be comfortable in yourself and comfortable in your abilities to connect. And I don't want you to take things personally. I want you to be so sure and certain in who you are that when someone else is not certain, you're not offended. You just are detached. You can let it go. Okay. And, right. So for those who don't know, I do a section called 36 Questions to Make You Fall in Love. It was a New York Times article, and I read one from each episode because I'm like, y'all want to fall in love with me. So this is this week's question. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either your mind or your body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would it be? Okay, so this feels like a no-brainer. And if y'all disagree, I need to understand why not. Obviously, I would keep the body of a 30-year-old and let my mind age, because at 36, I know so much more and I'm better than I was when I was 30. Like, I want to keep getting better. I heard it just keeps getting better. So I don't want my mind, my sense of self to be stunted. Give me that and keep this 30-year-old body, girl. Keep it, because even with my 30-year-old body, I could work out. It's lit. Like, let's go. We lit. What? That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Why would you not? Like, are you serious right now? So if there's one thing I want you to remember, is that you are naturally probably going to be a charmer. Your father's a charmer. Your mom's a charmer. Your grandmother's a charmer. Like, it's in us. So don't worry about it. Understand that you are who you should be. And I look forward to hearing stories about how you're navigating and, who you like. And I want to be alongside that journey with you. I don't want to judge you. I understand that these are natural feelings, natural things that you feel. And I know that sometimes it probably feels like mommy's all the way up there and I'm all the way down here. But I want you to remember that I also had a crush on boys, that I also didn't know what it meant. I also felt that the butterflies of not knowing if somebody likes me. Like, I get you, and I'm here, and we're here, and we're going to figure it out together. And I want you to come to me, and it's a safe place. So that's what I want you to remember when listening to this episode. Okay, now I got to talk to my listeners. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending time as I continue to build this podcast. It means the world. I look on my little uploads and my downloads, and I just feel so good, and I feel so nervous and happy that I have listeners. So if you could please write me a review on the podcast. Also give it a share. Or if you don't want to write me a review on the podcast app, send me a DM that you're listening. It just feels good. It feels really, really good. I wanna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I have so much more to say, so much more topics to talk about, and I'm just grateful to have this place to share it. And to you, my love, whenever you hear this, just know I was thinking of you. I was learning, growing, and preparing a world for you to thrive in. I can't wait to see who you become. Bye.